Well, no, I did the real track.
I should have it up there. By the time we get this one,
Grab your-
one issue.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'd like to call the May 22nd, 2017 Town of Lawrence Board meeting to order. Roll call, Brennan.
Here.
Dremel.
Here.
Van Dyke. Here. Van Eyck. Here. Waldo. Here. Wetzel.
Here.
And Messerschmidt.
Here.
And we've got present Ryan and Lynn. Okay, if you can join me for a pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve agenda as printed.
Okay, second by Trammell, second by Van Eyck. All in favor say by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Public comments on matters not on the agenda or other announcements? Anybody have any comments not on the agenda or other announcements? Okay, dispense of that. Number 6,
Connected.
consideration of minutes from May 8, 2017 meeting.
I just had
Move to approve the minutes of May 8th, 2017 meeting.
Motion by Van
a
Eyck,
second.
second by Trammell. Any discussion or concerns? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 7, consideration of payment of due invoices and wages.
I'll move to approve the payments.
Motion by Van Dyke,
A second.
second by Brennan. Any questions?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Ken.
4881, relocate light pole in Witherway. What's the deal with that?
That's where the sidewalk, the new trail we're putting in,
Okay?
it was right in the center of it. Yeah.
Kurt.
It was part of the bid.
It was part of the package. Matt had seen that the whole while.
Okay, so that's on them, not us, or?
Well, we have to pay, but I think it goes on the project.
All right.
Yeah, it's part of the project. It was part of the bid.
Okay.
Yeah, the other way around.
It's gonna come up with him too. How come there's no retainage on that? Isn't that a sewer project?
It's final, that's the final request. For Emily.
Don't the retainage for a while?
Until the final, usually.
Yeah, so the final beer request.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Was there his time before they got that back?
I had a comment on the best built for the repair to dugout roofs. This amount then, is this the full amount and we'll get reimbursed half from dads or what?
Correct.
And is this a separate agreement from their normal where they usually pay all of it for repairs and maintenance on the field or
This is
is?
something Kevin had negotiated with them. That
It's
came-
the agreement that went out this year is not very clear as to what is paid for and what's
Well,
not
this
paid.
agreement is different than the previous ones?
No, it's never been, it was supposed to get updated this year and it got sent out without getting updated. Because it's not, same thing when we had, what was that last fall, we had the.
Post of concrete, $300 or
that's the
something
way-
like that.
Yeah, the way the agreement is written, it just says, it just says, maintenance,
Doesn't spell it out, is
it
what you're
doesn't,
saying?
no, and it's,
So we want clarification in the future agreement is what you're?
yep,
Okay. So Kevin negotiated this as a 50% in which we'll pay this and then they're gonna reimburse $22.50 or whatever it is.
yep.
Okay. So in the future, yeah, I'd like some input into the future writing of that agreement.
The other note on that too is that the agreement that Kevin had worked with them was for 2 dugouts. They ended up doing all 4 for the same price.
Really?
That's what,
What was that all about, the roof or the side walls or everything?
all
or-
they built a truss system that's gonna last much longer than what was on
It
there.
was mainly the roof, but there were other repairs that needed.
Yeah. They did the same thing, Kelly needed Mark to be here.
I saw that.
Copied the same roof.
Okay.
Kurt, next time we get to that, I mean, down the road, maybe we could check with some firms and some people and see, some help. I think we're pretty
Oh, brick one?
done for,
Oh, I see.
you know what I mean? I'm sure we get some people to help us with that. Sure. But no, it's good now. Next time,
Yep.
we got a lot of kind people around here.
Well, they bid us for two and we did all four.
Yeah.
The suburban wildlife, I assume that was for several ponds and they were trapping them.
Yeah. All spring trapping.
How long a period is that, Kurt? That just seems like a lot of money.
He goes for a whole week and he traps the muskrats for a whole week, but then he finds out there's woodchuck holes and skunk holes and he calls and he tries to get rid of them, get rid of those, and that takes a while when we can catch up with all that. So,
Okay.
Does that come out of stormwater or?
Yep.
Okay.
he'll go again in October, twice a year he does it for a cold.
The village of Hobart, do we get a copy of these bills, or how do we know we're being charged right from that?
I get a copy of all the bills that they submit for reimbursement from us, and I go through and make sure that they're not, because I've caught some,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I know we had some, I don't know how long ago it is, but before, we had some bills on our list. So,
Yep.
it's kinda
Well, it
hard
takes
to-
me about an hour to do their bill, it's really a pain in the butt.
I don't know that.
I have asked them to make it a little bit streamlined and I got, no. So now I track it in Excel every month when I get their bill, what we're paying for,
Okay.
and go through it that way, so. make sure-
Pat, do you know anybody that's Robin?
Most of them.
Okay, that's what I thought. Make mention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 8, consideration of operators licenses for the period of July 1, 2017 to June 30, 2018.
Motion approved is listed.
Motion approved by Graham. Second. Second by Van Dyck. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Item 9, consideration of recommendation from Planning and Zoning Board. A, take one at a time, Scott?
Yes, please,
One at a time?
yes.
Okay. A, consider two-lot CSM for split of parcel L-258 on Sand Acres Drive by Mullen Associates. Scott, you got anything on it?
Well, I sent the email to Steve Vito to be here. It's really rather simple. They're one lot. It's being split to create two legal parcels. That we discovered that there actually are sewer and water laterals to the new lot, so must have been planning for this ahead of time. So creates two legal parcels. So there is no issue with this as far as goes. So there will be a new house built on the new parcel.
Just alongside cemetery,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, the house is, the current house is right there. and it's on
I know.
the other side.
Okay, any questions of Scott?
No, I move to approve the.
Okay, motion by Van Dyck,
Second.
second by Tremmel. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. B, consider two-lot CSM for split of parcel L-169-1 on Williams Grant Drive by Justin Hewitt.
Same thing here with the legal parcel that this creates. There's laterals installed already for all three of the frontage. Justin can explain his future plans for this, but it's creating a legal parcel now.
Our plan is to build on the south side of the existing home next spring, depending on how quotes come in and everything. And then in the future, depending on kids in school and things, build on the north side a smaller home.
Yep.
And then bust out another lot in the future for that as well.
So these are all 100-foot frontages or more?
I think it's 135, 115 in the center, and the
Whatever,
whatever's left.
what would they spend on the one on the,
It'll be about 107 on the north side total.
okay.
How come they don't make that 7230?
That's on the south.
Yeah, there's a segment, there's a segment C4
Yeah,
in
it is.
addition to that.
72 here and then this little piece from here.
If you're planning, like 3 lots for that, how come you make them 3 lots now instead of
Oh, okay.
only 2?
Okay.
All right.
Really no need to at this point, I wouldn't think. No legal reason to at this point, so we're gonna do it later when the time comes.
Okay, it's up to you. I would have thought it'd been cheaper to do it right now than do it again later. That's yours.
You're happy with it?
Yep.
Okay. All right. You have a motion?
A motion approved.
Motion by Brennan,
I'll second.
second by Trumbull. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Consideration of appointment of members to the Planning and Zoning Board. Scott, what do we have there?
So Brian Peterson, Skip Lee, and Travis Ronke are up for reappointment. Brian and Travis gave us an application for 3-year renewal. Skip Lee would like to be considered for 1 year, if the board doesn't mind. And I thought, considering his past performances, we should oblige that. So we can renew all 3 of their applications for reappointment to the board.
There's no requirement that it has to be 3, is there? I don't know.
Probably your own
Pretty
rules,
sure.
but I mean, you could probably waive that if you needed to.
It's
I'm just asking.
the details of the membership in the ordinance calls for 3 years, but it's a board appointment, so I would think your
Well, quite frankly, if he wants to be done at 1 year, what are we?
I have no problem with
No, I don't either. I was just wondering.
I mean, that's all we make sure we're doing it anyway, right?
That's all I wanted to make.
Yeah, we can take a look at it again. He just wants to, he's thinking short term as far as retirement.
Doesn't want to get locked in or
That's all.
something.
So, that was his wish, and I didn't see a reason to
I don't see a problem.
get on with
You
it.
never heard of that resign word?
Yeah, that's all they. All you do is leave it if you want anyway.
No, he's a good guy to have on there. I just,
Yeah.
I thought maybe he's having some health problems or something that really wanted that 1 year deal.
Just keeping his options open, I think.
Yeah, you can't see working past a year.
Got vision problems.
Got vision, yeah.
Good point.
Do we know if we got something written on the committees for that, or anything?
I do not.
I think it's in ordinance, I believe.
Do we have to take a look into this before we do this, or can we do this?
It's, well, as Scott said, it's a board appointment, so you can appoint for whatever term you want.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we ain't doing something we shouldn't be doing.
Well,
I think we're,
Well, if you're-
it's our committee, so.
The one thing you can do is, so if the ordinance says 3 years, just appoint them all for 3 years. And if he wants to stay on, you don't have to do it in a year from now. And if he wants to resign, he can just submit a resignation. And if you just appoint them all for 3 years, it accomplishes probably the same thing.
That works for me.
Okay,
So then if he wants to stay, we don't have to revisit this.
exactly.
And he can resign if he'd like. That work?
Sure.
I don't see it.
Whatever your motion is, then we'll deal with it.
Just tell him.
Yeah,
But he still has the freedom to get.
I think that would,
then if he wants to stay on, we won't have to have it
don't
come
have
back.
to, okay. Motion by Vandenack,
Second.
second by, Van Aye. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Item 10, consideration of northeast asphalt change order for Williams Grant Drive to install temporary asphalt ramps, clean and sweep, and additional shoulder material in the amount of $6,230. Well, there's a change.
Yeah, so just a quick note, this is a change order that was sent to Kevin Brunner in February, and it was, I think, set in the file. And so in talking with Northeast, they do want to have some action taken on the change order, even though they did the work last week. What this is, from my recollection and conversations with staff and a couple people on the board, is that not all the work got done last fall. And so Northeast had said that they would come back and get that done again, which they did last week. The note on the change order is that it's a $6,230 estimate, but Greg Grassman from Northeast had said whatever the cost is what he's going to charge us. So it'll be whatever it will be.
Yeah.
And I had asked if he had an idea on that last week, and he said he wasn't going to be able to turn it around for tonight. But what they did want to do is get that approved, so that they can have it, clean up their records, so that it was approved work for this year.
I wanted to ask him, what are temporary asphalt ramps?
I think when you put the first layer on, all those ramps going into the driveways, now they removed them and put the permanent one in there. I'm thinking, I'm assuming that's what.
That
it
little,
is.
Doesn't mean it's gonna go away.
The little bump edge that they ground out now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right by Mid Valley.
well, last year when they said, if we didn't go ahead and do it, he had mentioned it'd probably be about a $5,000 extra charge. We said okay at the time, so thought it would be better to wait. It might be though, right? Whatever. It might be.
It could be, yeah. If that's what the work was, that's where it'll be. Again, my apologies, that's the best they had for right now is approximately $6,230.
I guess I'm okay with it. It's not $1,000 so, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, I'll move to it.
okay, motion by Van Dyke.
How do you approve that with amount not to exceed, or?
Well, you can,
Approve it
we
approximate.
can put it in there or not to exceed $6,230, sure, I'll put that
So the,
That's the,
yeah, I mean, you're voting on the change order,
in. Yeah.
but then the other part is then when the actual bill comes, you'll be voting on that again then too, I'd imagine, so. But
So
Greg
technically,
didn't say it was going to be less than $6,230, but he didn't say it was going to be more either, so.
Patrick, so we're voting on the change order, really,
Right.
not the dollar. The dollar amount will come for final later.
I would say so, when you get the bill, then you'll,
All right.
that's pretty final when you get the
All
bill.
right, yeah, that's okay. So motion by Van second by Brennan, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
If there's more, we'll have a discussion with you.
More. Road bed discussion. Motion carried. 11, consideration of proposal for a water tower mixer. Kurt?
Yes, we put in the budget for, I think it was $7,500, that's what McMahon had given me. Looking to put a mixer in there because of ice, we had some paint, took off every repair about 5 years ago, when the 5-year plan came through on a report came through. And there's some paint missing now on the outside, so ice is hanging in there, and also the residual on the chlorine, it's hard to keep up in the summertime because the tower is at the end of the water system. Hoping that when we do get this water main across the road out here, it should help quite a bit. So I called around and I got some estimates on this mixer. Manitowoc has it, City Appleton has these mixers, they're pretty well known, recommended by McMahon. But the cost, the bid number he gave me covered the cost of the mixer, but not the installation. Because we have to run electrical all the way up to the top of the water tower, kind of breaker, yada, yada, yada. So you can see what we have here from Simon's Electric of $16,770. That included everything, not to exceed number. We had another number that was a little cheaper, but the estimate on electrical was $3,500, strictly an estimate. Last year at the Capitol, we approved in 16, we approved cathodic protection. But after it was approved, talking with the peers, removing their cathodic protection with this lake water, a lot of it's not needed with this lake water. We don't get the iron built up in that, so we didn't spend that money, and so we had that 15 that just went back into the coffers. Now we got this 75, so we had them together, we got 22.5. If you guys would approve it, that's where we would, come up with our number. It'll still be ahead, to the plus side.
Does electrical have to get inside there?
That's all the way to the top. All the way to the top, and then they put what it is, it hangs on a cable inside this mixer, so you can actually, if it ever quits running, just pull it up, and the cable, they have a cable that comes with the mixer, and there'll be a junction box on top of the tower. So,
Did we have anything figured for painting to this, cleaning it up, anything?
well,
We talked about that a while
yeah,
back.
last year it was taken out of the budget, the cleaning list. I think the estimate was like 4,800 or something, from a guy recommended also from McMahon. So it's gonna need to be
We
cleaned soon.
pushed it back in years.
And painting's anywhere from 15 to 20 years. You know, and I think if we do that, we check around with municipalities around here. And
Do it joint.
you can do it jointly, you get a little bit better buy-in, you know, so. We gotta look at a long-range plan, because it'll be, you know, it's 8 years old, you know, so probably in another 7 to 8 years, we're gonna have at least a plan to paint it and get it out for bid, and that's probably gonna take you
I
years.
wanna check with Freedom, that's getting pretty dark underneath
Yeah,
there.
yeah. The cleaning's a little more, you know, a little easier to painting, because you've got a lot of crews out there that clean. It's the painting that's the hard one, you know, so.
Underneath curb, all the way around, is that, it looks like corrosive, but is that all mold?
That's mold.
So that water would, salt water, clean that out.
Well, they
don't
got
know what's
robotic
underneath
pressure
it.
washers that hang down in cables, and they go around and spray. And
Yeah.
they run through the controller and stuff like that.
But probably wouldn't do the job, they probably would.
Oh, it'll be clean when they're done with
Would
it.
it?
The high pressure water with some type of solvent cleaner, and, you
But I
know,
mean, with the paint under there, be okay, you think?
probably fine, yeah. You know, where the paint's missing, you can't see unless you walk right up to the tower and, you know, look way up on the seam, and, well, you can see a little here, a little there, so it's not really missing a
We
lot.
got some guys like that out there.
Yeah, of course. You know, so that's something, you know, it's our first tower, we're really, you know, it's a new
As
thing
long
for
as it
us.
looks good from the street, right?
Right, exactly. You know, it's a new thing for us, so.
Billy Moran paints them.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
We'll
so,
send you up
you
there.
know, I'll do that long.
Photos.
So we
I would
just,
think
Spray paint.
a rope and roller with a pole and wood should be
I'd
okay.
like to see that.
which is your recommendation?
Patrick and I were talking, going with Simon, because it's a not to exceed number, or the other one, electrical's just
Pretty open-ended.
Yeah, the electrical part is very open-ended. So it's up to you guys. I mean, you know, you're looking at, what is it, $1,300-$1,200 difference there. You know, $1,300 difference. But the Simon one does it all. They come in and do the whole work.
Everything.
Everything. So it's just one contractor instead of trying to coordinate with two.
So you're familiar with them or recommended?
They actually
by
came
them?
highly recommended from McMahon. That's why.
That's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I wanted to
They
know.
did Appleton's and they did a few other ones. They're all
Okay.
in the state. They're down in, southern part of the state.
That's why I'm asking.
So,
It's a big investment, we're gonna keep it
well,
good.
you know, that the heat of the sun kills you. You gotta, you know, when our water usage is getting up, turning our water tower over almost a full tower a day, we still can't keep that chlorine up high. You know, Greg had a little way to cheat it, and that's not really the right way to do it, so before we get in trouble, I think there's a mixer in there, which will make a world of difference. So,
I'll need a budget amendment too, because this is not in the budget.
Okay, so we'll have to, just make a statement of that when we pass that, so we can add it on. So we're not doing a bunch of that yet. I don't have any problem with it.
The
Okay.
cathodic system that you're talking about, is that similar to the rods we put in the tenders on, or is that?
no, a lot of them are like a net, almost like a wire net, they hang down in there. It's still the same theory, and it has a monitoring, you know, device that tells you when it's failing or they're doing that. And if you're tearing them out, and I'm like, you're tearing them out? Like, yeah, with this lake water, we're getting absolutely no use out of them, you know. So I said, that's what Bob and I said, stop, we're not gonna put it in, because we have McMahon, you know, getting us some people to call about that. And I actually did talk to one guy. He said, you probably don't need it. He said, if you're on lake water, you probably don't need it, so.
It's similar to the rods in the tender lasts us 3 times longer now than they used to.
Exactly, Kevin, same theory, kind of, you know.
Jennifer, you said it wasn't in the budget, but a portion was, the 7,500
The
was
unit
budgeted,
itself.
but not the electrical, is that what you're
The
basically
unit.
saying? Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the capital purchase of the water tower mixer along with the electrical, and then we make an adjustment to the 7,500 was budgeted in the water utility, but the electrical portion was not, and that the rest should have to come from general balance since it wasn't budgeted for the electrical portion. That's what
Water capital.
Water capital. Yep, good motion, okay. Second?
You want to make sure that you have Simon Electric identified as your motion then too?
Yes.
Yep.
Simon Electric being the bidder that we're going with.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to jump.
No,
in.
that's fine. I want that.
Yeah, okay.
Second all that.
Second by Rena. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, thank you. Kirk, what's the capacity of gallons of that?
300,000.
Really?
Yep, and right now we're about 220, 230 a day. once we start turning that over 300,000 a day, you guys have to start thinking about a second water tower. Or a second.
That's what I'm asking.
It'll probably, our next sanitary survey in 2 years, it's probably gonna be a big topic of the DNR.
What's the cost of something like that? You have any idea?
Usually $2 per gallon for brand new
Yeah.
water tower.
And we could do one, there's different ways, theories, I'm thinking you could put ground storage, which is cheaper than elevated storage, and you just use your ground storage to supplement your elevated storage, or you put it on elevated storage.
I think it cost us more than $2 a gallon last time.
Remember, steel went through the roof from
That's right.
the day we bought it?
We couldn't have hit a worse
I
time.
know, Ken.
It was just unbelievable. A year before or a year after, we'd have been a lot cheaper.
Probably like 300,000 or some number, whatever.
Yeah.
Timing and everything.
That $2 was probably good in February, I would say, because at my prior job, we were scoping that out. At about
February?
250,000 gallon tanks for about $2.
So once we start getting the pressure, we're gonna have, the DNR, we're gonna have to start looking at some planning on it.
But ground storage, how would that work? If you don't have the elevation like.
You pump it into the system. Yeah, you have a pump. DPR does that. I've talked with Dan Carpenter about that, where when they're turning over the water so fast, that automatically kicks in. So if they would get a big fire or heavy usage during the day, they would just kick those pumps,
Right away.
automatically kick in and supplement the water tower. You still have water coming in from
So
Manitowoc.
you're saying
at
it
the
would
same
be
time.
feasible possibly?
It is feasible, yes. It just, what's good for long term, we have to get our people that know.
So the water authority saved a lot of money with this
Oh, you bet.
ground storage. That's-
2 quick trips and 2 water towers, that puts us right at the top, doesn't it? So had to do that. Okay,
that must have-
sorry.
Can I just read this motion back?
Sure, go ahead.
Supervisor Trammell made a motion to approve the proposal of the water tower mixer with Sun Electric to include electrical with a firm proposal not to exceed $16,770 and adjust the budget for the water utility budget in excess of $7,500 of the original operational capital budget. Is that fair
It says it
statement?
exactly.
Okay.
Well done.
Okay, we voted on this, didn't we? I can't remember.
I think you got to vote.
Yeah,
Final vote.
Yeah, okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Kurt. I didn't mean to
Thank
start
you.
all that conversation, but I was just curious.
No,
No, I know.
No, you don't.
Okay, thank you. 13, consideration of resolution 17-006 for the amendment of the Central Brown County Water Authority contract.
Just a quick comment. So this is amendment number 7, which you voted on last meeting.
Yes.
Number 12.
Yeah, I would say we need to do number 12.
Okay,
We're gonna do number 12.
go to number 12. Go to number 12.
Okay.
Cut back. Cut that under one.
What's that?
Go back to number 12.
Number
I think
12,
you missed
back.
skip the item. Yep.
Resolution.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Let's go back to number 12. I'm sorry. We need a roll call vote on this one. Consider resolution 17005 for tunnel borrowing for Investors Community Bank in the amount of $2,843,200. We'll need a roll call vote on that. So we have a motion.
What?
So do you want me to explain what this is all for?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Keep
that's
it
what I want to know. What does this all include?
It's petty cash.
Okay, so we start with 870,000. That is from September of last year when we called the bonds in that were at 4.5%. And we put those into a single payment note. We refinanced that note back in February. That note did come due again here in May. Just trying to lump all of this stuff together. So that's where the 870 comes from. The next is the $1 million general obligation. That was what we borrowed back in March of 2015 for the fire truck and some of the road projects. Just trying to restructure that back also. We're not adding any time to it, it's just changing where the payments fall into place. And then 532,400, 600, let's see, Little Rapids Road, Hickory Road, and County Highway T, for those 3 projects. The Hickory Road is for the engineering, for the, so that we can build the road next year. It was 43,000, some change. The cost of Little Rapids, which I got from Matt, and then the roundabout, which was like $38,000. That's how we we come to the 532,400.
Where are we at with that engineering for the county?
We got about 13,000 already paid into it.
Yeah, we're
It's
stopping
paused.
that.
It's paused.
Huh?
It is on pause.
They came,
We'll talk about that later. too.
okay, but, well, but it's all part of the borrowing, so.
It's tied to this a little bit.
Well, what did you say, we had 43,000 for the
For engineering.
engineering?
We spent 13.
So even if we borrow this, we can still pay the engineering.
Right.
We're still okay.
Yep.
We got an extra 23,000.
Yep. Yeah, I think, so the attempt, I believe, is still to engineer a road, it's just to
Not.
recap the scope of the road, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
but not the engineer that we didn't about.
And then the 600,000 for the Shrine Road project. And then the storm sewer work on County Highway D for 15,800. So that's how we come up with the 2,843,200. Well, it's pretty small. So our interest rate is at 2.3%, one year.
And that's locked in for the full length?
Yep, for 10 years. It's the max term we can go out.
That's something we
2.3. We can pay early if we want to. We're not locked into the whole thing. Basically, what I was trying to do, you'll see that there's payments kind of all over the board here. For 2018 is our last year payment on the town hall here. So we're out of that monkeyed up payment schedule that Carol put us into. Which is why I refinanced that $1 million loan to kind of put us back to an even, instead of having the highs and lows in the debt service. And then in 2023, I have a balloon in there. I don't know if you looked at that.
Yes.
$1,011,58 for the mere fact that I have a balloon coming due on the sewer note that we took out a couple of years ago. So I have to
That
do,
together?
yeah, so I have to do something anyways in 2023, so it just makes sense to do the same thing here.
Now, there's no paragraph in here that will have to be changed later on or anything?
No, get that all
That's been
fixed.
taken care of?
Yes, I don't want to be a Blueberry again.
All right, that's what I'm asking.
Yep.
I looked, but I could have missed it, that's why.
Yeah, no, we got that removed, so. So other than that, it's pretty standard language otherwise. And Mike Willis, who is the attorney for this stuff, he did go through and make sure that there was no arbitrage with the stuff that we were refinancing, and we're good there, so.
Are we gonna be in position to pay that balloon payment then, or is that
No, we
something?
have to refinance it back over. Yeah.
And she's saying that since we have to refinance other debt anyway at that time, then-
I understand that. And we say it's only 2.3%, there's still 292,000. Just making a comment.
I don't,
Well, you're borrowing almost 3 million, so.
could be higher. Might be.
But now, we're still not set up to do Hickory Road, yet, are we? For money?
The way I have it structured, the payment structure, I have enough room in there to borrow the funds to do that, yes. I'm not borrowing the funds,
But it's not in this proposal.
it's
right?
not in this, no. But the way I structured this debt, knowing that that was coming forward, I left wiggle room in there to allow for financing that.
Yep.
Other questions? Okay, we're gonna need a motion.
We have to do a roll call one on this.
Oh,
We'll go vote.
pardon?
So I need a
On the
motion.
vote, yeah.
Yeah, so I need a
On the
motion
vote.
and then a roll call vote.
Yeah.
A motion to approve resolution 17-005 for $2,843,200.
Okay, motion by Brennan,
I'll second.
second
second by Trumbull, or Van Dyke.
I was waiting for you.
Yeah, yeah, I was too. I was kind of waiting. He didn't say anything. Okay. Roll call vote. Brennan.
Aye.
Trumbull.
Aye.
Van Dyke.
Aye.
Van Dyke.
Aye.
Waldo. Aye. Motion carried unanimously. Okay. No, 13.
Now we get that.
Consideration of resolution 17-006 for the amendment to Central Brown County Water Authority contract.
Yeah, essentially, this is the same item that you voted on at the last meeting, but what they'll require is that it's in resolution form. And I think the last meeting, it was just a straight vote,
Right.
simple vote, so, if you could, I would say re-vote, but at least vote on it in resolution form. It's amendment number 7, I believe.
Amendment 7.
Move to approve resolution number 7 for the amendment to the Brown County Central Brown County Water Authority contract.
Okay, motion by Trumbull. Second by Van Dyke. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 14. Consideration of final pay request number 4 for the 4th edition Hemlock Creek subdivision from Robert J. Emmel Excavating Incorporated in the amount of $18,469.45. Patrick, that's the last payment.
Yes, yep, final pay request.
Okay.
Is this the work done last year?
Correct.
Yeah.
Almost to approve the payment for RJM on $18,469.45.
Okay, motion by Van Dyke. Second by Van Dyke. Any other discussion, questions? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Number 15, consideration of pay request for number 2 for the Shirley Road 2017 improvements from the Group Incorporated in the amount of $73,283.25.
All right, I'll move to approve the request number 2 for the Sharon Road project for the growth in amount of $73,283.25.
Thank you, Ken. Motion by Van Dyke.
Second.
Second by Trumbull. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 16, administrator report.
Yeah, just a couple quick items. I've got a rough draft of a memo that outlines the last couple of weeks here coming on board. What I'd like to do is get that at least every other week or every week, get an email to you. Have it in the packets too. But essentially, I'll hit some of the highlights. I've got a lot of my meet and greets that are continuing here, reintroducing myself to people that I've been working with for a long time as the administrator in Lawrence. And a couple of those meetings with the New North and a couple other development agencies. I've given them my new contact info, and they've immediately let me know about potential opportunities in the town. So it's not just a meet and greet so much as it's working on economic development for the town, which is one of the keys that was passed to me, marketing the town, and those types of things. So other than that, some of the projects that we've got out there, they continue. We've met with Hobart County Highway officials on a couple of the projects that we're working on. Obviously, we hosted Halo last week. We had a good turnout here. We had a good conversation. Representative Jacques was here. It was a good conversation about the dark stores and some of the other things that he's working on. Chad Weiniger was here representing the county executive. Obviously, last Wednesday night, the county board voted 23-3 to approve that sales tax plan. But at Halo, they did kind of run through some of the details there. I also attended the Green Bay Chamber had rolled out the first economic development master plan, strategic plan for the greater Green Bay area. So that was held. It was a free event at the Radisson. There was probably 200 people there. Old faces I saw there too. But that was very interesting to see what the overarching plans are to boost development, some of the initiatives that are coming out, and then where we fit into that. I think we'll position very nicely in that. And the Denmark State Bank opening on the 9th, we went to that. And then the only other item that I'll sort of touch on, which has been hit on here a little bit in the last maybe 2-3 meetings, is we're taking a look at some of the purchasing policies, maybe to review and refine them. Within the purchasing policies where you have the surplus property disposal policy, there's a couple notes in there that I think we could potentially tweak. One of them would be for departments that sell surplus materials or equipment, to keep those funds, or I guess designate where those funds come back to. We'll take a look at that. And then the other thing that had been passed to me to take a look at with purchasing is to review authority on contacting and contracting the legal services so that we have a clear chain on who is authorized, which, also fits within purchasing policy. So I know a couple supervisors have touched base with me on some recommendations that they have, and I had asked for about a week here, maybe a week and a half. But hopefully at the next town board meeting, we'll have some, maybe some draft policies for review and discussion here. So that is all I have for a report.
Okay.
When the county is working with this 0.5% that they pass, I don't know why they don't put out there that like $7.5 to $8 million every year comes from outside of Brown County sources. So it's kind of like free money. So I mean, if you're looking at $8,000 over a 6-year period, that's $8 million. I mean, over a 6-year period, that's $48 million that we're pulling from outside of Brown County. Because them figures were brought to us when they talked about possibly keeping that 0.5% going and using it for certain things.
That won't tell, I mean, local people.
Well, and that as well. I don't know how much we're getting out of that part.
Sure, they're buying gas and food. Yep. Now
But they don't put that in paper. All
I'll
they do
mention
is,
that in Detroit, that's a good point.
because all they do is they complain, wow, it's gonna cost us so much money.
Yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, but I haven't really noticed the difference from 5.5 to 5. No. Truthfully.
Unless you buy a new car, then you.
Exactly.
Unless you're doing big ticket items, it's really not that significant.
No, it isn't.
Even then, if you can afford a $50,000 car, you can afford the few $100 extra.
50.
Well, I'm talking about you guys.
Talking about Lanny.
I'm driving a $4,000 car.
I'm driving a 2004.
Retro. Yeah. And seriously, you talk economic development, we've been talking about those facilities for how many years? I mean,
It's time we
foot dragging is over. Let's move on. Let's make the greater Green Bay area, and especially Lawrence, a great place by development, okay? And this is a good start. So
when we
let's
get our governor on board, now we'd have something.
Yeah, that's a big if, Ken. That's a big if. I know in our last meeting, we had some concern about LPGA and coverage with police, and I think I asked Randy that he said, no problem. He said, we're doing the same thing, it's just that a few of them will be over there to when they're on call. If something happens out here, a whole bunch is coming down, so.
Was anything brought up with Jakes about that for roads recently? I know we have months back, because you got all these proposals coming up, the budget's coming up now.
Yeah.
And they don't seem like they want to put anything in there for roads. We're going backwards on roads. The money that's going to be borrowed again is less than it was last year. But the worst part is I forget that figure, what it costs us.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know if it's 20% or if it was more, but it was a lot of money that we're paying every year on money that we have borrowed for our roads. So in essence, you're losing a lot of it.
Well, the federal budget, we all what, tomorrow or the next day?
24, 25%.
Okay,
Is that
I
what it is?
forgot the figure, but
Federal budget will be out next day or so, and he's saying there'll be a big increase in infrastructure, but I don't think we'll see any in Lawrence, but I mean.
well, you're not going to see it in the state either,
No,
because
probably
it's going to be
not.
less than last year.
Crop, yeah. But made some other cuts in social programs. Okay,
Okay.
there's that, and then we had some concerns earlier about our new eye not being broadcast in some of the homes in Lawrence, and Brian Lee is the coordinator, sitting there with a smile, has contacted them, and looks like they're gonna make those changes also, hopefully by the end of the month. The interesting thing is Supervisor Tremble and I tried to get them to change that, what, Randy, 15 years ago? When our kids were playing ball and wanted, and well, it couldn't be done, it could be. Now we find out the big reason is they didn't know we were a town. They thought we were like just a subdivision, and they weren't gonna change it. But now that we're a town, we're a municipality, now they're gonna change it. Which gets back to my point, they don't know who we are or where we are, we gotta work on that, okay? But
I'll make a quick note, if we run into issues with like New Eye, a request I would have is to send that through to either myself or the staff, because we do have representation on the New Eye board. And so if you guys have problems or issues, a request I would have is that you send it through to me, and then we can get it, or at staff, Jennifer, or myself, so.
We've done that all along.
Okay,
fine, that's a good idea.
right,
No-
good, I
no
appreciate
problem.
it,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep. Future agenda items,
Financials.
financial reports.
That may be tough, because I'll try.
I'm just saying, it's the end of May and we really
Yeah,
should
I know, I don't even have anything.
Anything else?
I don't have the answer, I'm just.
Yeah, we're taking a look at it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sure we'll have.
I have liquor licenses will be coming to the next meeting.
All right, item 18.
And we
Convene
had
in the-
liquor licenses, liquor licenses like for the businesses. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I think we're good, yeah.
Okay, 18, closed session pursuant to 1985-1 subsection C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the government body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. You'll need a roll call vote on that, and that's administrator review process. So we have a motion to go into close. What's that? Yeah?
Number 18.
You could take it with the vote,
I know with the way the agenda's set up, you just put the agenda set up and then just change
that's fine.
going forward.
So skip the roll call on that.
Well, just
Do
take
it
it,
for the agenda.
Take it?
yeah.
Okay. We need a motion though.
So
Motion by Breenan,
Second.
second by Vandenack. Roll call, Breenan. Tremble.
Aye.
Van de Heye.
Aye.
Vandenack.
Aye.
All